What I think is really speaking to people is it's a movie about kindness. It's a movie about, the man side of Superman. There's been a lot of Superman stories that have focused on the super. This one focuses on the man.
In my mind, I always thought the perfect Superman story to adapt to live action would be one that isn't afraid to emphasize his humanity, to emphasize his kindness and showcase what he stands for. And I believe that is exactly what we got. I walked out of that theater on opening night with an insanely heavy heart, one that was filled with the Blue Boy Scout's giddy optimism, his endless compassion and love for humanity. This film is not just a story about fighting for what is right, but it's also a story of an immigrant, someone who comes from a far planet away called Krypton, an alien who is just as human as anyone else. And it's this emphasis on humanity that makes this film so beautiful. It shows us what makes our humanity so special, how a good man will do whatever he believes in no matter what the cost is, how raising a child with love and compassion means to shaping the person they will become. I won't lie, I cried watching this movie, and I cried watching it the second time. My complex relationship with Soup stretches all the way back to my love for him as a child watching the Justice League animated show. In this, he was a beacon of hope. He was a symbol of truth. His kindness flourished through the screen. We saw him have to deal with his immense power, how strong he was. Not only that, but we also see him deal with his leadership skills, struggle to maintain it, struggle to be a leader. And then as I grew up, I started watching the live action films, and I came across Man of Steel. And if you've seen my most beautiful Superman comic video, you'll understand why I have such a disconnect with Henry Cavill's Superman. I went on some years just not really caring for the last son of Krypton. I wasn't really much of a fan after Zack Snyder's take ruined him for me. It wasn't until I was introduced into a comic that changed my viewpoint of Superman. After that, I became fascinated with the character. It was through these pages that my love for Superman had been reignited. My passion, my drive to want to see him on the big screen, filling me up with the hope inside that I needed. And now flash forward to 2025, and James Gunn has done it again. I can confidently say, within my own eyes, this is the best Superman film I've ever seen. Not only that, but it's played by an actor who understands the character in such a beautiful way, and it's directed by a man who I consider the greatest of all time when it comes to comic book movies. But how is this film so true to the last son of Krypton? Why is it such an important story in regards to the world of today? And why is it the perfect movie to kick off an entirely new era of DC? Well, I'll tell you why. As the film begins, Superman is at his most vulnerable state. He's bloody and beaten, as he loses his first fight in his 3 years as Superman. Off the rip, we're already seeing the most powerful person on Earth wheezing, coughing out blood, and needing his troublesome dog to save him. If that right there isn't already enough to show you in the first minutes of the film that we're watching something fresh and exciting for the character, I don't know what will. It's not about him losing the fight that matters. It's his immediate action after being killed by the sun. He rushes straight back into the fray, and that is what we love to see from Superman. It's when Superman is fighting a giant kaiju, and he's focused on saving everyone's life. Dogs, squirrels, people alike. Even including the kaiju, and that strikes a chord within me. While he doesn't really save the kaiju, it's his viewpoint of life, his love for people, that has never felt larger on the screen. I love when we see moments of Superman's empathy extending to all. Even after all of the terrible things Lex Luthor has done, Superman still believes he can make a change for the better. This is how our heroes should view the world, how our heroes should view people. It's what we need to accommodate the times. If I'm being frank, I'm so tired of heroes being gods. I want real people being real heroes. Like, for example, in the interview scene alone, we're given a better picture of who Clark is than we ever do in Man of Steel. And I really don't mean to beat a dead horse, but come on, man. What were we doing? It's truly apparent how good this movie is just through Clark and Lois's relationship. It feels so real. Their chemistry is truly there, and I love the choice to just make Clark and Lois's relationship start at a down point in the story. Matter of fact, every single human element in this film is written with nuance and complexity. The choice to make his birth parents bad is a choice that some will definitely dislike, but its place in the story is used so well that it makes up for it all in the same. In my eyes, his birth parents play a similar role in the story to Spider-Man's. They aren't that essential to the story, in my eyes. The true emphasis should be on Ma and Pa Kent. They are his parents. It's them who gave Clark the tools to become the man he is. It's Ma and Pa who guided Clark's moral compass. It's them who instills their unconditional love onto Clark, and it's Clark who instills that unconditional love given to him onto the rest of the world. I cried when Pa gave his words of wisdom to Clark, sitting with my own dad, as he told him that parents are not for telling their children who to be, but helping them become who they choose to be. This was one of the most powerful scenes in the film, and in my eyes, it instantly validated the choice to make his birth parents morally questionable. And then the scene directly following that. The scene of a Palestinian child, Jaramporian child, calling out for Superman's help, as the tyrannical nation of Israel, Bravia, plans to invade their country. While I have never dived into my political viewpoints on this channel, I would just like you all to know that Marvel and DC comic books have always been and always will be almost entirely left-leaning. Almost all of the characters since about the end of World War II have always been for fighting social justice. If you want to know one thing about Superman, he is an allegory for immigration, and he always will be fighting the elite and standing up for the oppressed. Superman would never stand for what is going on in today's America. He would never stand by as innocent people are stripped from their homes and their families. He would never sit by as an entire nation of people are being genocided whilst our government and the elite sign incentive or bombs to lead to their deaths. Just look at how uncomfortable this film has made Fox News. No, seriously, these guys are clowns.
Well, the other thing that's back is Superman. It's out in theaters this weekend, and the good news is woke Hollywood didn't force them to rename it Super Them.
I don't understand why he chose to use a word that is, very politically charged and incredibly divisive. Because when you put out a movie like Superman, you are inviting people to escape for a couple of hours. It's like, life is expensive, life is hard, life is hard, life is hard. Life is hard. Our politics have divided us and our families. So I want to sit in a theater, and I want to feel like I am Superman. I want to feel like I can save the world. But if I'm going there being lectured to about immigration, and he's like, well, this is an immigration movie, and if you're not careful, ICE will round you up too. So don't go see it. I mean, that's essentially what he's saying, but why wasn't he like, this is an abortion movie? Kal-El came from Krypton to perform abortions.
I didn't come here to bash Superman. We're not those people.
I was so excited for
I know I want Hollywood to do well.
Let me be excited.
No, Superman is woke. That is the point, and it's always been the point. If you find yourself agreeing with this woman, you've probably never picked up a Superman comic, and I don't know what to tell you. The point is, Superman loves everyone. He protects immigrants because he himself is one. He stops genocides because he himself knows what it's like to lose his people. How could someone look at a character like Superman, a character invented by Jewish immigrants in the early 1900s, and assume the politics within his stories are just about truth, justice, and the American way? That he's limited to zero complexity, no nuance, when it comes to the world and its politics. And just so we're clear, Superman is not about the American way. He isn't about the American way when our America has lost its way. But this film is important to today's world because it shows that not all hope is lost. It isn't afraid to stand up for immigrants. It isn't afraid to create a direct analog to the Israel and Palestine conflict. Superman shows the world that there are still those out there who believe in the good for all of humanity. It shows us that we still have the capabilities of being kind to our neighbors, for speaking up for the voiceless, for protecting the vulnerable, for lending out a hand for those in need. It's those qualities that I've ever so dearly missed in the last 15 years of modern day Superman interpretations. And it's those qualities that make Superman, Superman. James Gunn, please allow this movie to be the standard for how you take this universe. Yes, keep it fantastical. Yes, have so many different cities with different vibes like Gotham, Central City, Star City, Bloodhaven, Kandor, Atlantis. Give them their own vibes. I just ask one thing. Please, and I mean please, emphasize the humanity. Emphasize the hope these characters bring to people. Don't give in to the immense edginess that has plagued comic book movies and more, specifically your prior universe, for the past 10 to 15 plus years. I think the people who showed up for this movie have shown that the world wants to feel hope from our heroes. They want our heroes to show kindness and compassion. And please do not lose courage. Allow these movies to commentate on real world issues. Trust me, it will make them all the more impactful for it. And when we finally get World's Finest on screen together, I want it to mean something. I want both characters to be built up so well that when we see them on screen together, it sends shivers down our spines. Have it be Pattinson, have it be a different Batman, I don't care. I just want it to mean something. The potential for this universe is limitless, and I cannot wait for every project coming up. All I ask is that the creatives behind these movies, the actors, that they give a shit about the story that's being put forth on the screen. My love for comic book films will always exist. The child within me will never fail wanting to see Spider-Man get up after being beat down. It will never fail to watch me see Batman provide hope in the darkest of situations. It will never fail to see Superman soar over piles of dust after saving a life. These films are a different kind of special to me and so many out there. I think it's safe to say that DC is in good hands now. I just hope that after seeing Superman, we all can take a lesson from the film, that we stay hopeful in a better tomorrow, that we strive to see the beauty in everyone, that we stand up for what's right, and that being kind, well, that's the real punk rock.